through here. No, don't go around the termite mound again. That's exactly what they're doing. That is a classic zebra move. There we go, all three in a line. That's nice. Three zebras. Now, if you did have any doubt that their patterns were unique, here's a good opportunity. You can try and compare them, and what sort of scientists like to do, or anybody that's researching zebra and following them around, where it becomes important to be able to identify individuals within a herd. That triangle that's on the shoulder, that's what they're going for. So they're not trying to take an entire mapping of the stripes of the zebra on the entire body. They're just looking at that little spot there. You can imagine it'd be difficult to try and get all the stripes down in your book. And I'm not sure if we're having, I think I'm having serious comms issues today, unfortunately. I don't hear final control. My game drive radios are fine. Okay, I can also hear you. You can hear them munching. There we go. Now you can see that they don't mind what length of grass they eat. They do pull it up from as close down to the roots as they can. Now, Sammy Jane, you're wondering, can zebras be trained like horses? I suppose they can, but I don't think they cooperate as well as domesticated horses. They've got a wild and fiery spirit to them, almost that of a pony with a really bad attitude. So I think anybody that can manage to train a zebra, good luck, because everybody that I know that is either hand-reared zebras, that mothers have been, lost during the entire birthing experience, or a predator has taken them down and they've, it's been on their private farm and they've tried to look after them. What a nightmare. Oh, got a fright. Something startled them. And it's actually not particularly pleasant. I've been bitten by a zebra before. It wasn't nice. Let me just sort of reverse and find a gap to look through to see what they're staring at now. What did you boys see? Very jumpy. But it's good to have a quick response race. It's good to have a quick response race. Why I can't a response rate? I don't know why I keep wanting to say the word race today. Perhaps racing stripes is on my mind. Now they're standing very quietly and both ears are pricked in the direction that they sort of spooked from. They're using all their senses now. They're using their eyesight, their hearing and their sense of smell to make sure that there isn't a lion laying in the long grass trying to stalk up to them. That's not to say that there isn't. It's particularly dense around here. No, they don't seem to be too worried at all. They're relaxed. Now, Michael, you're wondering at what age would a young stallion challenge an older stallion to take over his harem? Well, I suppose it depends. It's like this sort of whole situation with elephant bulls. It depends on if there are big, fit, strong males in the area, because sometimes you can see stallions mating at quite a young age. I would say when they get to about 5 years old, maybe even slightly older than that, I reckon that they would be fit and strong enough to be able to start challenging males that already have a role within a harem. And it's a serious fight, though. My goodness, if anyone's ever seen zebras fighting, they rear up just like horses, chop with their front feet, kick with their back legs, and then, of course, those very sharp teeth which we were looking at in the tent of that zebra skull. and they'll bite each other. And they must be some of the most savage fighters out here. One thing that they do, if you've ever seen, like I said, zebras fighting, you'll notice that they always end up fighting down on their knees. And then they also spin around and always look like they're trying to bite each other's tails. But it's not the tails that they're going after. They're going after to the nether regions. So it's quite a savage thing. I think if they can, they will try and take their competitor out so that they can no longer compete ever again. So basically they try to kill each other. And off they go. So yes, don't get into a fight with a zebra. Actually, don't get into a fight with any of these animals, because you will definitely come off second best, especially if you're just armed with your hands. I think you'd have a tough time challenging all of these animals. Anyways, they're moving now in that direction where they got a bit of a fright. So there's obviously no threat there. Zebras have got very good eyesight as well, so I trust them. When they alarm, normally something's around. I walk in the rain, you're wondering, how are zebras' teeth different to domestic horses? I don't actually think that they are. I think it's a very, very similar setup. I've unfortunately never had a look at a domesticated horse skull. I've seen my horse's teeth, of course, when I was putting the bridle on, and when the dentist came, because at one point I wanted to be an equine dentist too. I actually did some shadowing. I did 2 weeks of shadowing of our local horse dentist, and it was really quite exciting. And I'm just trying to think, I was very young though, and I wasn't really paying attention like I pay attention now. But I don't remember ever seeing anything else too different. So we were looking at that zebra skull, and there were 6 molars on top and bottom jaw on either side, and then there's quite a gap, and then of course you get to where the muzzle is, and the front sets of teeth there's 6 teeth on top and on the bottom. And I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same with horses. I do stand under correction though, but I'd never noticed any sort of difference, like I said, when I was putting the bridle on my horse and making him open his mouth. Right, but let's move on. Let's go and see what else we can find. Like I said, I want to try and figure out where Tingana's gone, because if he wasn't in Buffelshoek yesterday, and he does this all the time, he's obviously, I don't know where he would have moved, especially if that he had a kill, but he likes it around up this way. So we'll just check around Buffelshoek Dam quickly. Sometimes you can find him laying around there. Where else? We might check in Yala Road, north and south. There seem to be some routes that he walks, perhaps central. Well, we've still got quite a way to go. We will do some birding along the way. Come on, turtle dove. Not even a turtle dove, it was an emerald spotted wood dove. But we'll just keep scanning here and see what we can pick up. I've only heard a couple of voices on the radio. I don't know if everybody's gone back home. I suppose the schools have started again in South Africa. So all the landowners that were in Buffelshoek enjoying their time off have all obviously gone back to work. And then I can only hear Mike and Ralph in terms of driving around in the north, and then Byron and I. Which makes it difficult, of course, when there's so few people driving around and try and find animals. What a wonderful surprise. Well, I think you're all going to enjoy this, because it seems as though the Mara team is joining us, and Scott is on the cars driving about. Let's go across to him and say hello.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Masai Mara. My name is Scott. I'm teamed up with Ferg. We spent the night out here, and we were sleeping with 2 female cheetah, 2 sisters. They are just up to our left. There's some Thompson's gazelle up ahead of us, so you've joined at a good time. They've already had 2 attempted hunts this morning, both of which they didn't come very close. Let's show the cheetah now, Ferg, because they are getting fairly close. There we go. Now, she was the one that spearheaded the last chase, whereas the other cheetah did not get involved, not even in the slightest. So already interesting to learn, or at least think we're learning, a few traits about these cheetah. Oh, the Thompson's gazelle have seen the cheetah now, and what's interesting, take a look at this, is rather than running away, they run towards the cheetah. Well, at least kind of walk quickly towards the cheetah. Better the devil you know than that you don't. And that is exactly the theorem they're employing here. Not a worry in the world, and if they know that the cheetah are around, the cheetah have got very, very little chance of catching them. And they are making this clearly known to the cheetah. Who knows though, these are two young cheetahs, so there is a chance that they will have a crack at these Thompsons anyway, simply because they are young and inexperienced. I love the way Thompson's gazelles are permanently wagging their tail. That's certainly one of their traits that is most noticeable. And I'm happy to hear that a lot of you are excited to see, well, at least the prospects of seeing these cheetah try and catch some breakfast. I think they are definitely going to continue to provide us with some great action in the coming weeks, and seriously looking forward to spending the day out with these girls. What's also interesting is trying to kind of get to know their behavior as to what time they wake up in the morning. Are they active early on? And I mean, there's never a set rule to anything, but this is definitely the most I have spent with cheetah in my life since we've been in the Mara, so really enjoying getting to know a little bit about them. They went to bed at about 8:30 last night, and they only decided to snuggle up with one another at around 10:30, so they were sleeping about 5 meters apart initially. Then they snuggled up with one another and slept in the same spot until about 5:45. They started getting up and stretching. We were up from 4:30 just to make sure we keep an eye on them, because the other cheetah that I have spent time with so far have started getting up at about 5 in the morning, so still about an hour of darkness, 1 hour and a half of darkness at that stage of the day. Let us see if we cannot reposition you guys into another spot. Andy in Florida, yes, it's a huge privilege to be able to spend the night out in this incredible wilderness, and obviously to spend it with cheetah and lion, then that's also makes it that much better. It was a beautiful evening last night, not too cold. As you can see, the cheetah is making the right decision and not paying any interest to these Thompson's gazelle, because without the elements of surprise, even for the fastest land mammal on the planet, they will not be able to catch their prey. They had quite a good opportunity earlier. A herd of Thompson's gazelle actually walked onto them, and they just lay in wait until eventually they sprung out of the grass, but sadly they did not have any joy. They didn't actually even come close, and it's testament to how hard it is for predators to actually bring down their prey, and how well evolved the prey are to escape being eaten. And that of course makes perfect sense, because if it was too easy for the predators to catch their food, then there wouldn't be any food for them. So it's Mother Nature's plans of making the cats stay on a lean diet by having very clever prey spotted through the plains. Now, I'm trying to learn the difference between these two sisters. This to me looks like the one with the bigger white fluffy tail and less and not such a big black segment. The other female has got a smaller white tip and a much larger segments of black towards the terminal end of the tail. So we've only come up with some funny names, and I'm just going to tell them to you, but please do not quote them or refer to these cheetah as them, because it'll get us into trouble. We named one Jillian. That's this one here, I think. Kirsty will help remind me. And then the other one is oh no, this is called 100 kilometers an hour death. It's quite a long name, and she seems to be leading the charges, and then her sister Jillian doesn't seem to be as clued up with the hunting. Just the ringleader. Very, very bold when it comes to the hunting, and definitely the one. These Thompson's gazelle have seen one cheetah.
Alright everyone, now I've just got an update. There might be wild dogs on the property. I'm trying to get there very, very quickly, hoping that we see them. Every time they call in the wild dogs with me, we seem to get there just as they cross out the boundary. Hold on. Okay, there goes a Koran. Sorry Koran, sorry Franklins, crested Franklins. Or hold on a second. I think they're in this area somewhere. Let's have a look, Oh, it would be great to see some wild dog, wouldn't it? Oh, wow, okay, so it's on. Okay, come on. Copy that, copy that. Sounds like they've moved through a block somewhere, but they might have gone out onto the northern boundary already. Now, I don't really like racing around like this, but in this situation, just to try to see some wild dogs, it's needed. Otherwise you're going to miss them. You're not going to see them. Craig, you still alright there? I just want to listen and see if I can hear the car. He says they're coming towards Gallagher shortcut. I just hope the guy who's got them has got the right road. Now it is thick. Now to follow wild dogs is very difficult, because they'll cover a huge distance very, very quickly, and also once they go into a thicket or through the thick bush, we can't get through there as easily as they can, obviously. Chitty chatty Meg, I'll try my best to show you some wild dogs. Station with the pack, do you copy? Station Gallagher shortcut, do you copy? That's not good. Which station with the pack this morning off Gallagher shortcut? Ralph, do you copy, Ralph? Okay, copy. Sounds like he's lost their... Try have a look. Maybe we'll just scan very carefully now. You see, and as I said, if they run through these thick areas, it's difficult for a vehicle to stay with them. It helps if you've got 2 or 3 guys to kind of loop around one another and try to stay with the wild dog. Brenda, the reason the wild dogs move so fast is because this is their hunting style. The wild dogs are persistent hunters. Now run through areas very, very quickly. Now there's some impala over here. That's a good sign. That's what the wild dog would be looking for. So they'll be looking for impala through the thickets while they're moving around. And they'll constantly run. They run huge distances in the morning and in the afternoon to look for food. They'll try and hunt. And then if they don't have any luck, if they don't... So I'm just listening to the radio again. As I was saying, so these wild dogs covered these distances because this is their style of hunting. Let's just listen again. No, the 2 of us on Gallagher shortcut. Hold on a second, I just want to chat to this other vehicle. Morning everyone. Alright Henry, I think maybe the other way. I'll go around this way and check. Okay. See, it helps to try and work together to try and find these wild dogs. I tell you what, why don't we go across to Taylor quickly? She's got some hippo to show you. As soon as I get a glimpse of these wild dogs, we'll get you back with us, okay?
We're sitting at Buffelshoek Dam. I was hoping to find a leopard laying on the banks, but that's not what we found. We found a hippo in the water instead. It's good to see that at least one hippopotamus has decided to come back to Buffelshoek Dam, because it has been empty for the last couple of days now. And not even the Egyptian geese were here. It's like the hippo and the Egyptian geese have an amazing relationship together, and they refuse to inhabit the dam without one another. That's obviously not true, but it's just a coincidence. As I've come past here the last few days, and there's been absolutely nothing. The Egyptian geese have actually just moved off just to the corner, and they seem to be wading in the water at the moment. To the right, keep going to the right. You'll get them now. There they are, just feeding in the water at the moment. Got their heads underneath. A little one. See how they're using their feet to stir up the mud? Isn't that cool? And then they pop their heads down and they sort of are siphoning through the water. You're getting lots of delicious things to eat, but there are grazers too. They prefer to eat grass when it is out and when it is available, but at this time of the year, the short green grass that they like, and they almost feed on the same length of grass as wildebeest do. But there isn't any of that for them to eat, so they'll change their diet slightly and feed on the things that are living in the dam. always making noise. They're very sort of chatty birds. They're obviously constantly reassuring each other that they're around, strengthening the bond. Egyptian geese are again monogamous too. You can see that looks like the male, that one there that's doing all the talking. He looks very busy. But Buffels Hook Dam, not Buffels Dam. Buffels Hook Dam is a beautiful spot. And hopefully we're going to see lots of animals wallowing in this water as it starts to dry up. There are not many places left now that have water in it. Now, Paul, you're wondering why they're called Egyptian geese. Well, it's not because they're from Egypt. It's because of their markings, and this is what I've heard and read. They've got a very Egyptian-like makeup around their eyes and their colorings. So that's where the reason why they say they have that name. And fair enough. I just love this little movement that they're doing with their feet at the moment. They're sort of doing a bit of a tap dance underwater. Like I said, stirring all sorts of things up that are at the bottom of the water. Obviously, all that sediment must have lots of little nutrients and things. Must be some microorganisms that we obviously can't see that they're feeding on. But again, it's nice to be able to feed on a variety of different things and be limited. Oh, right, let's very quickly go across to Byron.
Oh, we found them. They've just decided to lie down, everyone. Fantastic. Here they are, straight ahead of us. I'm just going to try reposition through here. Hold on. It's a little bit thick. There they are. Oh, isn't that great? Here we go. Craig, is that alright for you? Can you see them through there? Luckily we can get a view past the other vehicle. Ah, there they are. They've just decided to lie down now, which is amazing. They've probably been covering a huge distance early in the morning. How many are there? Can you see? 5 of them that I can see. Oh, I can actually smell them. They've got a very pungent smell. Wild dogs. Very, very strong smell. Isn't this amazing? How exciting is this, everyone? Luckily, they've decided to lie down. This is wonderful. Now, well, I don't know this pack. It's not a pack that I've seen before. So if any of you have ideas of which pack it is, you can let me know. But it looks like they might settle down now for the morning, which is strange because it's still very cool. So there's also a chance that they could get up and start moving around again. But generally, these wild dogs... Dumb shock. You said they haven't had their morning coffee yet. Yeah, well, they gave us a run around, that's for sure. Aren't they amazing? They are such unique predators. They're so different from obviously the cats that we have around here, and by far, in my opinion, the most exciting predator to follow. Purely because when they are moving around, they are hunting, they cover these huge distances. I can see there's another dog approaching in the background. You might see, there we go, there's another one. I wonder if this is not the pack of 9. Yeah, there come another 2. So we've got 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see if there's another one, because I did hear the other day there was a pack of 9 that were found. Oh, we might get some interaction here. Let's have a look. Well, they look like they're in very good condition, these dogs. very, very beautiful. Now, if we're lucky, these dogs might end up staying here for the day now that they're starting to rest. They might end up staying here and move around a little bit later this afternoon. Not sure if they managed to hunt anything this morning. But they are very, very efficient hunters. And as I said, so exciting to follow because they bound and they run very, very quickly. And when they do see prey, they dart off so fast. They're so fast when they are hunting. Rocky and Doreen, you asked what do wild dogs eat? Well, they feed on a variety of food. Now, anything from possibly a small scrub hare, but any of the antelope species they prefer. So, something from a steenbok or duiker, all the way up to something the size of a kudu. I've seen wild dog bring down large prey in the Kalahari. In fact, the oryx and the red hartebeest, I've seen wild dog hunt them before, which is unusual. I couldn't believe it, but they adapt very well to what's around them, what food is around them, what they need to hunt. This is awesome. Oh, Chris, now you've asked how far back in history do the wild dogs go? Have they been around for 10,000 years or so? I don't know, Chris. I don't know. I will have to try find out. I don't know if domestic dogs originate from wild dogs, or the other way around. I don't know how far back these canines actually go. Do you know, Craig? Yeah, that's what I think so. Mr. P, all the way in Canada. Now, the wild dogs are completely different to domesticated dogs. The wild dogs are pack animals. They run huge distances, cover long distances. They are very powerful, and incredibly strong jaws, sharp teeth. And ruthless hunters when they do hunt. So I do, if we had to go back, you'd probably find that domestic dogs originate from wild dogs. Maybe not necessarily these wild dogs, the species of wild dog, but a wild canine of sorts. And then these are obviously just probably still just have that wild aspect to them, never been domesticated. I don't think you can domesticate wild dogs because of them being pack animals and needing huge spaces. See those very large ears. Really, really great for listening. Often the wild dog, when they are hunting too, when they're running around, they'll bound through the long grass when they can't see, or they'll stand and try listen, because they'll pick up on the movement of anything. Very, very good eyesight. And it's amazing to see them work together as a pack. Now, Snazzy, the wild dog actually make quite a high-pitched squeal or squeak most of the time. Very strange sound for dogs. However, their alarm call, if there's any danger or any threat around, they do indeed bark. I've heard that a few times. When they see a lion or if they see a leopard, they'll bark. And that's an alarm call, and then the pack will work together to try and get those predators away. Natalie, you said this is your first sighting of resting wild dogs. Yeah, usually it's a glimpse of them running and bounding through the bush and then they disappear. So it's wonderful to see them resting. And like I said, now the way they've settled down, it looks as if, I don't want to guarantee anything because it is a cool day, but it does look like they may settle down for the day and possibly move around this afternoon again. Luckily we do get out quite early, so maybe Taylor will want to try and come and look for them this afternoon. Give her a chance to see them, if they're still here. Shelly, wild dogs, when they are moving around, will sleep anywhere. So just like this pack is doing now, they'll find a spot, they'll rest and they'll sleep. However, when they are denning, now winter, so about May, June, they'll start looking for a den site. The wild dogs always den in winter, and a den site for wild dogs will be an abandoned termite mound. So something that perhaps a warthog or aardvark has excavated, they'll use that as a den site. And only the alpha male and female will mate, and the female will then go and dig out the den and use that to give birth to the pups. And then what will happen is she will sleep in there, the other dogs will sleep around the den, they won't go in, but they will return back to that den daily. So they take food for the female, so that will be used in the winter months, so June, July, and then as soon as those pups reach about 3 months, 3 to 4 months, or about 3 months, actually a bit sooner, about 2 to 3 months, those pups will start moving around with the pack, and then they'll leave that den. And then what happens is the pups might hang back a bit when the dogs do go off and hunt, and they'll race up, hunt, and as soon as they kill something, the pups will catch up and they'll feed on whatever the pack has caught. However, when they are denning, this pack will hunt, feed, and return back to the den, and then they will regurgitate food for the rest of the or for the pups and for the female that is looking after the pups. So yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know if this pack has been denning. I assume there would be at this time of year. Like I said, I just don't know how many dogs are in this pack. But I saw a pack recently in the Kalahari that were denning. Okay, Chris Rogue. Apparently, this is known as the Investec pack. Thank you. So you say this is the Investec pack. I'm not sure how many dogs are in here in this pack, but they're possibly denning somewhere at the moment, and because I know there's that other pack that I think only 3 dogs that we used to that were sometimes seen, but they were further west of here. But as I was saying, there was a pack that I saw in the Kalahari recently, and they were denning, and those pups have just been brought out of the den. So if this pack is denning, if we go on the timeline, I would say the pups will probably still be in the den this time of the year. Not old enough to move around just yet. Alright, there's a hyena approaching next to us. Look at that. Now it'll be interesting to see how these dogs react. Now let's have a look. They may get up and chase this hyena away. Let's watch. And let's also hear, maybe we get an alarm call from the wild dog. See, they're not too phased. Oh, hang on, there we go. Now, wild dog don't really like hyena very much. So if that hyena starts moving closer, the wild dogs might react. See, it's amazing how, and I spoke about this earlier, often just sitting, we were just sitting with the wild dogs, and this hyena approached other animals. Predators will go and follow animals. Now the hyena has probably picked up on the scent of these wild dogs. As I said, they've got such a pungent smell, and you can smell them from far away. Now this hyena would have picked up on that scent and probably having a look to see if there isn't perhaps some scraps left behind by the wild dogs that it could feed on. But the pack seems to have laid down again. They're not too phased by this hyena. There's no threat, there's no danger towards these wild dogs from the hyena. That is why they're not phased. This hyena is just opportunistic, trying to see if there's potential food around. This is wonderful. Really is great. See, and the hyena's just gonna lie down there now. I must be honest, I'm actually quite relieved these dogs aren't running around, because to keep up with them is really, really difficult. Colton, no. Hyena and wild dogs aren't related. Hyena fall under a completely different family, Hyaenidae, and obviously the wild dogs fall under Canidae, under canines. So completely different, not related. Every now and then the breeze shifts slightly, and I can smell these dogs that are very, very pungent. That wet dog smell, I suppose, the best way to describe them. But such a distinct smell. You see that even though they're resting, they're still constantly alert and aware of what's going on around them. Lift their heads up, ears. See those ears constantly moving. So we'll just lift their heads up, scan, make sure there's no potential danger. Joshua, you say you just love those ears. They are, but they're beautiful animals for wild dogs. That brown, black and white coloration. Seems as if everything's settled down now, so I don't think these dogs are going to get up and move anytime soon, which is great for us if they stay till the afternoon. David, we're not that far from the hyena den, but it's probably, I would say, as the crow flies, it's probably about 600 to 800 meters or so directly through the bush, roughly. So yeah, I suppose we're not that far from it, but maybe even a little bit further. But we are, I suppose, in that area. Alright, I'll sit with these dogs for a little bit longer. Let's just see if they move, but let's head back to Taylor and find out how the rest of her morning's going.
Well, we've been doing an unbelievable amount of birding, and I'm just trying to clean my camera screen. Remember yesterday we had a very brief sighting of a bird and we weren't able to identify it. Now I'm basically in the same spot that it was seen. I'm trying to clean my LCD screen on my camera. I think what we saw was a Eurasian blackcap because I've just seen one. Have a look at this. Now it's very zoomed in, and hopefully you'll be able to see it. I tried to get a very quick snap of it. Look at that. Now it's a new bird for me. It looks very much like a Eurasian blackcap. The only thing that I'm worried about is that white sort of eyebrow. That's what I'm trying to say. Strike. Oh my goodness, what is wrong with me? I'm distracted by all the other birds that have just arrived. But I'm pretty sure that it is one because I can't find anything else that it would look like. Let's have a look at it on my phone quickly. Let me bring that out. So, and it also was very brown and mottled, so my settings weren't very well on the camera. I was shooting on manual and I just quickly tried to catch a snap. So let's open it here. Let's go to a picture. Actually very rare to see down here. But if we look at... Let's look at the female. Just this whole shape, and it's even got a little white orbital ring. Now the only difference between the male and female is that the female has a black cap, but the male has a black cap. There we go, there it is there. And that's just a strange shape though, the way that it's sitting. But there's nothing else out here that it could be. I'll show you the other thing that maybe it could be, but I don't think so. It's just, let's go to a black cap, a bush black cap. I think the colouring is all wrong. Unless it was perhaps a juvenile, but it definitely didn't have a pink bill, and I didn't see very pink legs either, and it was more white than anything. You can see the colours on this one are much sort of darker. They don't have a juvenile picture, unfortunately. There's an adult on a nest. Okay, how cool is that though? But I will confirm, I'll get Byron to have a look. Can we have a look and see what's down, it's jumping around here? I wonder if they're firefinches of some sort. They look quite bright in colour. Oh, they've just flown off. There was an amazing bird party here. I don't know what was jumping around here. It was some finches of some sort, but they've now disappeared. That is amazing. We saw green-backed cameropterus too. I haven't seen green-backed cameropterus in a long time. We often hear them. Let's see who's that. Oh no, it's a little waxbill that's just landed. So that was very nice. I'm going to keep coming back to this exact spot because I wonder if they're not living around here. We need to try and catch this bird live, but I have a suspicion that that is the mysterious bird that we managed to put on screen yesterday morning before being able to identify it 100%. Because at first I said to you, oh, maybe it's a black-backed puffback with the sort of blackish and the whitish plumage, but now that I look at it I go, not at all. Very distinct black cap on its head. That was very cool. I hope that we get to see another bird party like that again. It was a very interesting one. There were lots of little birds in there. Like I said, the green-backed cameropterus, that Eurasian black cap, if it is one. I will confirm it though. I want to have a good look, and I want to ask Byron's opinion as well when we get back to camp, and ask him if he's ever seen one out here before. And there was one, there was an orange-breasted bushshrike hanging around with them too, and a couple of grey-headed bushshrikes as well. It was amazing. Probably one of the best little birding parties I have ever seen. So tomorrow morning we're definitely coming back to that same spot, and we'll hang around there and hopefully get them again. How did I pick up that stick? I'm on the road. Now I just picked up a stick. Let me see if I can lose it. Yes, be gone. And how great that you got to see wild dogs too. Isn't that fantastic? What a lovely morning it has been. Okay, any other interesting little bird parties around here? They actually came and joined me. I was just sitting and I'd stopped for a moment, and then all of a sudden I just saw these little birds dive into the tree in front of me. It was really quite amazing. What else have we got here? Huh. Colin, you said that the Eurasian blackcaps are still breeding in Europe. You saw one in Geneva yesterday. I don't know what it could be then. I don't know what else has got a sort of black head like that. I need to search my sort of app, other than I know of the bush caps, or the bush black caps, and then the Eurasian. I'm gonna have a look here. Let's see. I don't know what it could be then. It's just beautiful. Now, of course, do you think I can find them? Let's just scroll, see if there's anything else that's sort of a little bit looks like that. Otherwise, what I will do is I'll put it on a birding group if we can't figure out what it is and ask someone. But I don't know many other birds that have got black caps like that. It's just very, very interesting. Okay. Let's go. Linz and Drew said maybe a juvenile blackback puffback. Let's have a look. Let's go to P for puffbacks. Where are you? There. Let's have a look. I don't know if they're going to have a picture of a juvenile puffback. But then again, it didn't have a very red eye though. I'm just looking. And so this is the puffback here. That's it with it fluffy back when they call. That's a male. And you see a very sharp hook on the edge of the bill. You see that? Very prominent. Let's see if there's another one. Let's see if they give us the juvenile. This is the female that we're looking at now. Female again. Here's a juvenile. I want to try and compare it. Oh, maybe, because it has got that white, sorry, so it's a bit of glare, that's me moving around in the background. It has got that white eyebrow that's sort of, that I was telling you about, that I wasn't so sure. It wasn't, I'm trying to think, maybe, it could be. Linz and Drew, perhaps you're correct. Oh, sorry, my phone just goes on power saving mode. And there we go, it has got a dark eye too. Possibly, maybe you're right, maybe I was mistaken there. I got so excited I thought completely thought I'd seen a new bird. Let's see if there's anything else. No. And they go back to the adults. Okay. Right. There we go. Let me take my phone away. I've got all these sorts of things here. Perhaps, I think maybe I could be mistaken. Let's just have another look. Where is the bird, though? I think you could be right. I think it could be the juvenile. That white on the eyebrow is very, very sort of distinct there over the juvenile. So maybe it's the same juvenile that's been hanging around in the area, because we definitely saw this. So perhaps my first guess yesterday, I was correct in saying that it was a blackback puffback, didn't say it was juvenile. Okay, let's go with blackback puffback. I'm going to go with you, Linz and Drew, so thank you so much. You know what, that's the funny thing about these birds out here, is that sometimes the juveniles look so different from the adult, it's almost impossible to tell. So this is the fun thing. You get excited, you think, new bird, possibly another one for the list, because once you start reaching numbers of birds, you know, when you're getting towards 400, 500, it's not easy to start just seeing a new bird every single day. It becomes a lot tougher, and you'll go weeks, if not months, without seeing a new one. And I thought, oh, maybe I got lucky, but I think I may have been incorrect there, so sorry about that. Okay, let's go with blackback puffback, but we'll go back. We need to try and get it on camera again and have a good look. It actually hung around for quite some time too, bouncing about, and I, in fact, would like to see those greenback cameraptors again. I used to enjoy them. We used to see them a lot in the Eastern Cape. But let's go back across to Byron now. He's still with the wild dogs.
We are indeed still with these wonderful animals, beautiful wild dogs, and they've decided to settle down completely now. They're not too phased. And hyena, I'm just trying to see. I actually can't see it. It's still lying in the long grass, lying down there somewhere. No, I can't see it. The grass is so long at the moment. We got it there. It looks like it there. Yep. But how nice is this? Sitting with the wild dogs. I think Craig has made a very valid point. Says, what happened to the coffee break? Well, Craig, it's been a chaotic morning, so I think it's probably time that we have our coffee while we're sitting with the wild dogs. So why don't you join me and have a little cup of coffee or tea or whatever it is you're drinking this time of the day. It is very, very special to see the wild dogs, and a lot of you know quite a lot about the wild dogs and just how endangered they are. So to be able to spend time with them like this is special. It really is. And just to see them, because we hardly see them. I don't know when last I saw wild dogs on Djuma. Doggyfish, I'm not sure exactly what the numbers are at the moment for wild dogs, how many there are left in the wild. I think it varies and fluctuates quite a lot because we know we were discussing, and I don't like getting into a lot of these. Hold on a second, I might have to just move for this guy. Okay, that's fine. So doggyfish, I'm not sure, and we were saying the numbers fluctuate because of well, firstly the canine distemper and rabies that they pick up from local dogs, domestic dogs, or they pick up from possibly jackal have picked up from domestic dogs, canine diseases, and but so I'm not entirely sure of the exact number. I'm trying to think now, because at one stage there were very few wild dogs in Kruger. The Kruger had about, I think it was like 150 wild dogs, they reckon. This was about 2 or 3 years ago. I think the numbers have increased slightly since then. Now Tristan and Ali know a guy in Hoedspruit that does a lot of wild dog research. So maybe I'll try and message Tristan later and maybe get an answer from him. To see if maybe they know, or they might have a more accurate answer. Elizabeth, I don't know if these dogs have been vaccinated. I don't think they vaccinate the dogs at all in the wild against distemper and that. Most of these packs, some of them they do research on. Let's just have a look. This dog is looking at the hyena again. Hyena stood up and moved slightly. I think it's actually just gone and laid down again. Sorry, it's a bit thicker. Craig, can you still see? Yeah, I think it's behind there somewhere. I think it lay down again. It did stand up there. It just moved through the grass. You can see it cleaning itself. So, but again, they're not too worried about the hyena. Again, as I was saying, there's no real threat or danger to the wild dogs from the hyena. So they're not worried. The only reason the hyena is here is to potentially try and get some food. As I said, all these diseases and that happen with the wild dogs and the canines, they don't vaccinate them. As far as I know, they don't vaccinate them, and again, it's because it's a natural system. So these animals, it's difficult firstly to find the packs, and then once they do, I've never heard of them vaccinating them against anything like that, because the control is more to keep domestic dogs out of the area. That control in itself will potentially protect these animals, not necessarily vaccinating, because you know, I suppose again it just goes against that the moral standing of interfering with nature and wildlife. Technically, we have interfered by being here over 100 years, the Kruger National Park, but there is a natural system at the moment. There's a natural balance of predators and wildlife, and it's not our place to interfere with the animals. They are here. They were here before us, and it's a way of just managing the numbers, the sheer numbers. So if packs die out because of a disease, there's a reason for it. Same with lions and leopards. If leopard cubs die, if lion cubs die through mange, as we had last year, it's hard for us to see, but we need to try and keep, as best as possible, try to keep our emotion out of it. It's not our place to interfere. We are purely here to observe and see nature in its most natural state. If animals are injured or hurt or harmed due to people, yes, then we will interfere and we will try and save that animal. We'll get vets in and so on. But if it's a natural disease or anything like that, it's not our place to interfere. Natural injury, if another animal injures a predator and they die from it, that's the way it goes. Survival of the fittest. And it is harsh, but nature has never claimed to be easy. Nature has always been harsh. This coffee's good this morning, Craig. You not want some? Copy. You can approach. Elvis, thank you very much for the sighting. I'm trying to show this other car where the wild dogs are so they can come in and get a view. Just trying to reposition. I'll see where this other vehicle goes. Let's see, one thing I always try to do is I always try to make sure that there's space for these other vehicles to get a good view, because a lot of these people are paying a lot of money to come out on safari. So I might try and make a little bit of space. We'll still have a view though, but I'll just try to give them a chance to get a better view. Now let's head back to Taylor. Sounded like she's been having a good bird morning. Let's see what she's got now.
We are. Look at this. It's a bird I have not seen in a very long time, especially here in the sands. It is 3 red-billed teals. Now, very common down from where I am from, the Eastern Cape of South Africa. There's massive wetlands around there, lots of river systems, so you see them all around. But for me, this is the first time I've actually seen them at Vuyatela Dam. So how cool is this? You can even watch them on the dam cam. Now, they feed on fairly similar things to that of the Egyptian geese. Again, they also graze. A lot of the duck species do graze, and then they'll go for seeds and anything else they can find. They also feed on fruits. And how cool is that? They just, as we arrived on the dam wall, they landed into the water. I wonder where they've come from. They weren't at Buffelshoek Dam. I didn't see them when I was down at Chitwa. So they must have had a long flight. Now, they're very common around South Africa, and I believe you're also looking at them on the dam cams. There we go. You've got 2 different types of angles going on, but they are very, very, very pretty. Don't you think? And there's Mr. Blacksmith Lapwing. Let's see what the reaction is going to be when those ducks sort of approach the muddy water. You can see, look at the Blacksmith Lapwing, see if he's going to challenge them. Very territorial, always chasing the doves away. But are you going to pick on somebody that's slightly bigger than you? It looks like it. Oh, hey, just strutting his stuff, saying, hey, this is my territory here. You ducks, watch your back. No, not bothered. Yes, I think you're very wise by not chasing away something that's much larger than you, because if they turn around and chase you back, you're going to regret it. I also went to go and check around Treehouse Dam, and I couldn't see the little blacksmith lapwing chicks. We'll have to try and follow up this afternoon again. I don't know if they'd maybe been ushered off into the grass, or if it was Hosanna the other day that maybe gobbled them up. But they're beautiful birds, and you can see them all over South Africa. They're fairly common throughout Africa, indeed. Fern, you said that they are beautiful. They are lovely birds. Like I said, I can't believe I haven't seen them in such a long time. And hopefully the ducks and things will start to make a return with the drying up water too. Maybe we'll see the knob-billed ducks. Maybe they come back this way. White-faced whistling ducks are always a goodie. I enjoy watching them. I love listening to them call. Actually, should we listen to what a red-billed teal sounds like? Because I can't remember their call. They don't seem to make as much noise. I'm going to try and play the call. That's very Daffy Duck-like. An unusual call. I actually couldn't remember the sound that they'd made, but quite a nice one. It's actually very nice now. The sun is just coming up out from behind a cloud and radiating down on them. That would also make for a lovely screensaver, don't you think? So remember to share all your screenshots, hashtag Safari Live, and also let us know how many birds you now have on your list. It's always good to know, of course. Like I said, first time for me in the sands to see red-billed teals. Just having a look to see if there's any other visitors coming down to drink. I do apologize for stumbling on my words, but I suspect it's from maybe the cold medicine that I took this morning. It's made me all a little bit jittery. We won't be doing that again before safari. Right, let's carry on. Let's see what else we can find. And I think today's been actually great. It obviously was misty, a little bit dark. We didn't have much to start off with, but Byron's having a fantastic drive, isn't he? He started off with elephants, then he had some kudu, then back to the elephants again, and then he had, what else did he have? Then he's now got wild dogs and a hyena. Very cool. I just saw a massive bird fly off into the distance. Let's see if we can get a view of it. It's landed in a marula tree. The only thing is we've got the sun behind the bird, which doesn't help, because we don't want a silhouette of a bird when we're trying to identify it. It was a massive raptor. It could be a number of different things. Could have been a tawny eagle, could have even been a marshal. Just want to see if I can figure out where it landed. I think it landed over here. Can you see? It's so hard to see. It's sort of these two marulas. It's the second one at the back. Starling, can you just stop making a noise for a second? There it is. You see, here's my problem. It is now silhouette, and I'm trying to stare at the screen, but it is so difficult to see what. Yeah, look at this. Look at the crest. Look at the size of that beak. My goodness. Very sharp tip for tearing open. Oh, feathers. Oh, we need to go there and collect martial eagle feathers. Yeah, it's definitely a martial eagle. Now you can see the white quite nicely. That's lovely. So keep an eye out on the dam cam today. It seems to be hanging around in the area. Maybe it swoops down a little bit later and catches a water monitor or something like that, or even one of these ducks. Wouldn't that be incredible? They eat a variety of different things. I mean, martial eagles are known for taking young impala lambs down, or any young antelope, and feasting on them. But they will also catch water monitors. That's actually the thing I've seen them feeding on most, is water monitors and rock monitors. They like lizards. I'm impressed that it was able to fly in there with its massive wingspan and land on those branches, because there's quite a few little ones. I'm sure it must have broken a few as it was coming in. But our largest eagle that we see, and those eyes as well, you can just see those bright yellow eyes looking at us every now and then. Come on, fly this way, please. Oh! Tally ho, we're on 94 birds now. Okay, well that's good. We'll see what we can do. I'm trying to think which birds you have on your list. I almost feel like saying, quickly send it to me so that I can see what you're on. You can actually do that. You can tag me in it, no problem. It's nice to know what birds are sort of lacking. I think it would have been great if we could have put that grey-headed bushshrike and orange-breasted bushshrike on screen, as well as that green-backed Cameroptera. I'm sure those would have been a few new ones. They're not ones that we see all the time. Now, unfortunately, this Marshall Eagle is sitting in a very awkward spot. Like I said, it's not far. We're just on the eastern side of the dam. You'll see me driving over if you are watching on the dam cam. And it's in the trees just sort of northeast of the dam cam. Maybe it comes back. I'm sure it will. Remember, it's been chilly, it's been quite cold. Most of the animals were resting and taking shelter yesterday, and on a day like today they're going to take full advantage of warming themselves up, and particularly the terrapins, the water monitors, the rock monitors, and they like to sort of sun themselves on those banks. Maybe it's going to come down and swoop, and I'll be very impressed if I come out on safari this afternoon and you've all exclaiming with joy, saying that you managed to watch something like that happen. It's also a dream sighting of mine. I actually like to see a Marshall Eagle taking down an impala lamb, just because I've never experienced it before, and I've heard that it's unbelievable how they do it. Physically just crushing their prey with brute force and their talons. Oh, not that it's something nice to see. Chantel says I'm being very cruel now, but it's just, if you think about it logically, it's amazing that a raptor bird can take down an antelope. I mean, that to me it just shows you what a powerful predator it really is. So I'm intrigued by things like this, and I've never seen a big raptor taking down an antelope before, and I'd love to see the technique for myself. Obviously I've heard other guides talking about it. I think Tristan has actually told you a few stories about that, but we'll keep bumbling about and see if we can add some more birds to your list. I'll look out for some sneaky ones. Let's go across to Byron, who has got some very sleepy dogs.
Oh, we do indeed have sleepy dogs. Now, Judy H, thank you very much. As always, you often give me a lot of info that I haven't heard of before, but you were explaining, or you just mentioned Tristan did go out, and that was that friend of his that does the wild dog research. I can't remember what the name is of the company that does it, but that they did go out and they were vaccinating some wild dogs. But Judy H, I wonder if it wasn't because they thought that the dogs might have caught something that potentially had rabies, and then they vaccinated them. Oh, look, these dogs are getting up now. Let's have a look at my... no, they're just lying down again. So I'm not sure, but okay, so those guys did go out and vaccinate the dogs. I'll try and find out the exact story or why they did it. But so for some reason in my guiding career, I've never dealt with vets or anybody doing research or anything like that. They haven't been to the lodges that I've worked at. The one place that they've done it the most that I've seen is a Tswalu Game Reserve in the Kalahari. I've been there a number of times. Beautiful area, but a fairly young game reserve, a new game reserve compared to the others. It's been going since 1998 though. But because it is still fairly new, like most of the game reserves that have been established fairly recently, they have to have conservation efforts in place. They need, look at those dogs rolling around. Isn't that great? So they need to have vets on site. They need to have ecologists on site to monitor movement of animals. And I'm not sure. And like I said, I've never dealt with it. I have purely been involved with the taking guests out into nature and interpreting the bush to them. I've never dealt with the with any veterinarian research or anything like that, so I know very little about it, just because they just haven't been in the areas that I've guided in. So it is always interesting, and it is needed, and it is obviously a wonderful job that those people do in terms of conservation for wildlife. But you know, there are different aspects to conservation. So one is obviously the monitoring of wildlife and looking after from a vet perspective and ecology perspective. And then the other side of conservation is, of course, the taking people out and educating people about wildlife and the purpose of looking after the wildlife. And by people coming out here, they do a lot for conservation, because the money that is paid to lodges, and that helps the lodges protect the area and obviously protect the game reserves, and so they go hand in hand. They are just different aspects of conservation. Very nice to sit with these wild dogs. Kobe, you 15 years old. Morning, Kobe. It's not unusual for the wild dogs to sleep and rest like this. Like I said, early in the morning, they would have got up very early and moved probably a huge distance until they eventually got here and decided to rest. Now with it starting to warm up, I think these dogs, the sun is breaking through, and I think the sun is probably going to burn this cloud cover off, and these dogs are most likely going to look for some shade around here. But they seem very, very happy, and I think they're going to stay here for the day, for the most part of the day. And they'll probably get up and start moving a little bit later when it gets cooler. But Kobe, because they cover huge distances, wild dogs generally hunt mornings and afternoons in the cooler temperatures. Now with the day starting to warm up, they'll rest and they'll relax and spend time here probably until they start moving later. So it's not unusual for them to rest during the day. This is typical wild dog behavior. And then of course at night, generally the wild dogs, they're not nocturnal predators, so they will rest at night, sleep at night, rest, try to avoid other predators, and then get up and start hunting again during the day. This was a really, really great surprise. We've only got a few minutes left, about 10 minutes left or so, somewhere around there. So I think we're going to leave these wild dogs now. We've had such a great view of them. Wonderful to spend time with them. I'm very, very happy and excited about it. I hope you've all enjoyed it too. As I said, it's always wonderful to see the wild dogs hunting and on the run, but it's difficult to keep up with them. So when you get a sighting like this, that you can actually sit and spend time with them, it really is special, and it's wonderful to see them. Most endangered predator second most endangered predator in Africa, actually. The most endangered predator is the Ethiopian wolf. Now I've never seen one, obviously, up in Ethiopia, but the Ethiopian wolf, most endangered predator, and then the wild dog. So very, very special, and a privilege to sit and spend time with them. Alright, Craig, shall we see if we can somehow get out of here? I don't think it's pretty straightforward for us, I think. Or straight backwards, rather. Oh, that was great. Wasn't that fun? A bit of a race around this morning as soon as we heard that the wild dogs had been spotted crossing into our area. Oh dear. I think it's about the 4th time I've stalled this car in the last 2 days. Craig is judging me heavily at the moment. I do apologize, Craig. I think I'll blame the car. Definitely going to blame the car. It's not my fault. Some leaves raining down on me. Oh. Luckily, we've got a nice open spot. It wasn't too difficult to get out of there. I'm just going to say thank you to everyone. Stations, thank you very much. Moving out of this position off Aubrey's Road, 1 vehicle on the lock, animals still static. Well, I hope that Taylor can possibly come and find these dogs later. She should see the vehicle tracks very clearly over there, and there's a big prominent marula that they're lying under. So maybe they'll hang around and Taylor can try this afternoon. I'm sure she'd love to see the wild dogs too. Well, speaking of Taylor, she's had a great birding morning. It sounds like she's had a lot of great birds. And I'm jealous she got to see that martial eagle. But let's head back to her, see what her plan is for the last 5 minutes. I'm assuming she's going to be heading back to camp just like I am going to for breakfast. Let's find out.
Well, not quite though, Byron. I know you say you're jealous of my well-martial eagle, but how great is it to have one of the most endangered species, the second most endangered carnivore in Africa? Pretty impressive. Look at who we've got over here. An elephant. Hello, girl. There's a baby too. Let's just see how she's going to react to us. What a nice way. For me, this is the greatest ending of any safari. It's okay, girl. She's just turning towards us. She's slightly uneasy. I can't see the rest of the herd, which is unusual that she'd just be by herself. Let's try go just around the corner so we don't hide away from her. Hey, big girl, can we come and look at you? Yes? It's okay, young lady. Well, you're not particularly young, but we'll just compliment you anyway. You're a lovely girl. An older cow. Has got a calf who's just slowly moving in this direction, but you can see how she's smelling us. Yeah, she's been quite subtle about this behavior now. Just turning her trunk towards us. Now, that can be perceived as an agitation sign, but she hasn't done anything else just yet. She's just sort of picking up our scent. She hasn't flared her ears at us. She is swatting her tail around, but that's because there's lots of midges out on a warm day like today and biting flies, so they could be harassing her. But if she was really angry with us, she probably would have turned and shook her head. No, now she's carrying on. She could just be a small satellite party, her and her calf. She might be on the move, heading towards the rest of the herd, which could be off into the distance. But this little one is just going to pop in front of the car now, looking for something to eat. It's so sweet. Stripping the leaves. Come on. Oh, that's lovely. Just reaching in, trying to find the greenest of green leaves. You're doing a lovely job. Now, this is an older calf. It's probably about, I would say about 3 or 4 years old now. So Mom, I'm sure, has got another little calf inside her belly. Hello. Yes, carry on, little one. Roti, you say that an elephant looks like a badly designed elephant. Oh, I'm offended. You can't say that about my favorite animal. I think they've put together beautifully. And for them, it works. They've got a big head with big ears to flap about to help keep themselves cool. They've got a trunk. Let me go forward quickly. They've got a trunk on the end of their face, and they use that as an arm, but it also can smell. And that's what they use to suck water up and then spray it into their mouths. It's okay, little one. I don't think so. I think they're built for traveling long distances. I think that they're perfect for Africa. But that's, of course, I'm going to get defensive when you say that about the elephant. It doesn't matter who said it. Even if the president of South Africa told me that an elephant was put together badly, I would defend the elephants to their grave. That's just how much I enjoy these creatures, and they've just given me such great sightings. Now, it seems as though this little one is enjoying the shrub that's feeding on. It's just going from... I don't actually know. It doesn't look like a bush willow, does it? Might be. It could also be a... Oh, there's a whole herd of elephants. It could also be a... What is the other one? A wild meddler. Let me quickly change position for you, Senzo. There's get a better view here. There's more coming out. So they're not a satellite party. Here's the rest of the herd. She was leading She was leading them. Maybe that's the old matriarch there. Roti, you say that I win you over. I'm glad that I've changed your mind. Of course, I was only just teasing. Wasn't that so beautiful just a moment ago when we had that first shot of the dramatic dark clouds? Look at that with the yellow ground. This is one of my favorite things, and this is what I'm envious about that the team gets to see in Kenya, is those dramatic open plains with the big storm clouds forming in the distance. Yay, the elephants are back. The elephants are back. You have no idea how happy this makes my heart, and hopefully they'll still be around for this afternoon. As much as I love wild dogs, I would pick spending 3 hours with elephants over the wild dogs, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe we can do both of them. Wouldn't that be nice? You're shaking your head at me with a piece of food in your mouth. Does your mother not teach you any manners? No, obviously not. This is looks like a young male, so he's at that stage where he's quite cheeky, also smelling us, being quite subtle, but unfortunately, little elephant, I can read most of your behavior. Oh, hang on, there's a tiny calf. I know we've only got 2 minutes, so we've got to do positioning. We've got to see this little baby. It is so sweet. Hello, girl. Yes, you've got your trunk right up, don't you? Having a good smell. Oh, it's so small. It is so cute, and come on, move out the way, Mom. I know you're lovely, but I really want to see this tiny little one. Oh, how precious is this, especially that it's walking in the lovely long grass. Isn't that so sweet? Now, I'm also trying to smell very subtly. Look at that, going, what's everybody smelling? Probably me. I probably smell quite strange. Maybe they're picking up on the wild dog scent too. That's another possibility. Oh, you are so precious. This is amazing. This honestly couldn't be a better way to end the show. With happiness. All the little elephants and this whole herd. Oh, I wonder where they're going to go. Also, keep an eye out on the dam cam. Who knows? We might be lucky enough to see them. Hey, last minute elephants as usual. Well, I'm going to try and position us now so we can watch them as they disappear, but it has been a splendid morning. It was a little bit quiet for me, but it's now turned around right towards the end of the drive. That's fine. I don't mind. As long as I get some animals somewhere, I'm quite happy with that. But we'll sit here and we'll watch these elephants play in the long grass. It is such a beautiful scene. We had rain yesterday. We had all these different things, and now, well, the skies have opened, the clouds are disappearing, and the animals are making their return to Djuma. Finally, you've definitely been patient enough. But thank you all very, very much for putting up with the quiet moments. They definitely are worth it when we get rewarded with wild dogs and herds of elephants and lovely birds. But join us again for another fun-filled safari this afternoon, where Byron and I will be out traveling around. Until then, we'll see you soon.